All right, let's dive right into a pretty epic silicon showdown. In one corner, you've got the champ, the very powerful RTX 4070 Ti. And in the other corner, the new challenger, the RTX 5070, which is packing some seriously next generation tech. And listen, this isn't just about making your games look pretty. This is a battle for the future of AI running right on your own machine.
So that brings us to the big question, the real reason we're doing this breakdown. Is this new RTX 5070 just another small step up, an incremental update? Or is its new architecture a genuine, massive leap forward for running powerful AI models locally? That's what we're here to find out. You see, to really understand what's going on with these cards, you have to look way beyond just the spec sheet. This is about a fundamental shift in how they're designed. It's a move from the Ada Lovelace architecture in the 4070 Ti to the brand new Blackwell architecture in the 5070.
So here's the big picture. The RTX 4070 Ti, with that Ada Lovelace design, it's all about brute force, just scaling up raw power to muscle through any problem. But the RTX 5070, with Blackwell, it's taking a totally different path. It's more like a surgical instrument, finely tuned to optimize the entire AI workflow from beginning to end.
Okay, so where does this fight really begin? Well, it starts right at the heart of AI performance, the tensor cores. The best way to think about these is as the dedicated, specialized AI brain of the whole GPU. Now, hold on. Before we compare the cores themselves, we gotta talk about a really key concept called model quantization. In simple terms, it's basically a way to shrink AI models down and make them run faster. It reduces the precision of the numbers they use, kind of like compressing a huge image file without losing the important details. And this is absolutely critical if you want to run these massive models on your home PC. And this is where we see one of the biggest differences. The 4070 Ti has really capable 4th-gen tensor cores, and they've got great support for something called FP8 precision. But the 5070, it brings in 5th-gen cores with native, built-in support for FP4. And that jump from 8-bit to 4-bit precision, well, that is a massive, massive leap in efficiency. So, what does this fancy FP4 support actually get you in the real world? Well, it means you can quantize models way more aggressively. That allows you to cram significantly larger, more complex AI models into the exact same 12 gigs of VRAM. It literally unlocks models that you just couldn't run locally before. And get this, the source material says it can deliver up to 3 times faster performance in some generative AI tasks. That is a huge deal. Ari, let's move on to our next battleground, the memory system. Because, it doesn't matter how smart your AI brain is if you can't feed it data fast enough. This is the GPU's data superhighway. Okay, look at this number, 672 gigabytes per second. That's the memory bandwidth of the new RTX 5070. Just let that sink in for a moment as we look at how it stacks up. Now, what's really fascinating here is the text behind these numbers. Both cards have 12 gigs of VRAM. That's the same. But the 4070 Ti uses GDDR6X memory, which gives it a very respectable 504 gigabytes per second of bandwidth. The RTX 5070, though, gets a huge upgrade to the brand new GDDR7 standard, boosting that bandwidth by over 30%. For AI models that are constantly shuffling huge datasets around, that wider highway means fewer traffic jams and much, much faster results. All right, so we've talked about the brain and the data highway, but the Blackwell architecture has one more trick up its sleeve. It's a completely new piece of hardware that the 4070 Ti just doesn't have. This is its secret weapon. It's called the AI Management Processor, or AMP, and the easiest way to think about it is as a dedicated little traffic controller that lives right there on the GPU. It's a tiny, super efficient processor, and its only job is to manage and schedule tasks, which takes a huge burden off of your computer's main CPU. So what does this actually do for you? Well, the AMP takes over all that task scheduling from your CPU. It intelligently juggles both AI and graphics workloads at the same time, and it massively reduces latency. The result? A way more responsive system. Especially if you're multitasking, like say running an AI model in the background while you're gaming, it's the thing that's going to stop all those annoying stutters. So we've seen the differences in the architecture. Smarter cores, faster memory, and this new management processor. So let's pull it all together and see what the final performance verdict looks like.
But first, let's give credit where it's due. The RTX 4070 Ti is a fantastic card. I mean, as TechRadar pointed out, for a long time, it's been the benchmark for performance per dollar. It is a proven, powerful, and really capable choice for all of today's AI workloads.
Now, when you lay it all out side by side like this, you can really see the story taking shape. Yeah, sure, the 4070 Ti has more raw CUDA cores, but look what the 5070 brings to the fight. Those 5th-gen tensor cores that support FP4, way more memory bandwidth, and it does all of this while actually drawing less power. It's that classic story, right? Quality over quantity?
So what's the big takeaway from our source material? It's that the RTX 5070's combination of FP4 support, a much faster memory system, and that dedicated AI management chip makes it a clear and logical generational step forward, especially for anyone who's really looking to push the limits of what local AI can do.
And all of that brings us to the final, most practical question. I mean, all this tech is really cool, but which one of these GPUs is actually the right one for you? Honestly, the choice is pretty clear. If your main goal is getting proven, rock-solid performance for the AI workloads that exist today, and you really care about price to performance, the RTX 4070 Ti is still an excellent choice. But if you're an enthusiast or a developer and you want to experiment with the absolute latest and greatest models, future-proof your rig, and squeeze out every last drop of efficiency, then the RTX 5070 and its Blackwell architecture is without a doubt the path forward. You know, we've really just scratched the surface today. If you want to dig into all the benchmarks and get way deeper into the nitty-gritty technical details, the source for this explainer has got you covered. Just check out the link you see here, and we'll have it in the description for you too. And you know, that just leaves us with one final thought. We've just seen this shift from raw power to smart efficiency with things like FP4 and the AMP. It really makes you wonder, with AI moving at this crazy pace, what's going to be the next game-changing innovation? What will define the next generation of hardware? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.